Christmas, a time for laughter, joy, and celebration. But not every Christmas is filled with cheer. Some are haunted by shadows, eerie melodies, and the chilling whispers of the unknown. Tonight we bring you 3 terrifying ghost stories that will make you question the safety of even this magical night. From cursed gifts to haunted inns, each story will keep you on the edge of your seat. Are you ready to embrace the darkness? Let's begin. Picture a quaint New England town draped in a blanket of fresh snow. The air is crisp, the scent of pine hangs heavy, and twinkling lights adorn every window. It's Christmas Eve, and the spirit of the season is alive. But something isn't quite right. We find Claire and Jacob nestled inside their cozy home, a fire crackling merrily in the hearth. The soft glow of the Christmas tree paints dancing shadows on the walls, and the aroma of gingerbread cookies wafts from the kitchen.
Carolers, S1, carolers.
Jacob exclaims, his face alight with childlike wonder. He hurries towards the door, eager to greet them with Christmas cheer. But Claire hesitates, a shiver crawling down her spine. There's something about the carolers, something about their melancholic tune and the way they seem to glide through the snow that sets her on edge. Their voices grow louder, the haunting melody of Silent Night reaching a crescendo. Claire watches, transfixed, as the carolers draw nearer. Their shadows stretch long and distorted in the flickering gaslight, their faces obscured by the falling snow and the darkness of the night.
Let's go out and listen.
Maybe we should just listen from here.
Jacob, brimming with Christmas spirit, is already opening the door, pulling Claire out into the cold night air. A blast of frigid air greets them as they step outside, snowflakes swirling around them like a flurry of feathers. The carolers are so close now, their voices echoing in the night. But as Claire and Jacob step onto their porch, something is wrong. The melody abruptly stops. The carolers are gone. The street, blanketed in a fresh layer of snow, is completely empty. There's no sign of the carolers, no footprints, no lingering echoes of their haunting melody. It's as if they vanished into thin air.
Where did they go?
Jacob, his initial excitement replaced by confusion, scans the street. Claire, though equally perplexed, feels a wave of relief wash over her. She can't shake the feeling that something wasn't right about those carolers. The way they appeared so suddenly, their haunting melody, their sudden disappearance, it was all just off.
Maybe they went to another street.
Claire nods, hoping her unease isn't showing. They decide to head back inside, the silence of the night now heavier, more oppressive than before. The following morning, Claire and Jacob awaken to a sight that sends shivers down their spines. Leading up to their front door, clearly imprinted in the freshly fallen snow, is a single set of footprints. The footprints stop right at the edge of their porch, as if someone had stood there, watching them, before vanishing without a trace. And what's even more unsettling is that the footprints are old-fashioned, the kind you might see in an old Christmas Carol book. Not the kind anyone would be wearing today. The pristine snow surrounding their porch remains undisturbed, as if the person who made those footprints had simply materialized out of thin air, stood on their doorstep, and then vanished just as quickly. Claire can't shake the feeling that they are being watched, that something unseen is lurking just beyond their sight.
They're back, the carolers, they're back.
As night falls again on Christmas Eve, the once welcoming glow of Christmas lights now casts long, eerie shadows that dance menacingly on the walls. Claire and Jacob can't shake the unsettling feeling that something is amiss. The silence of the night is broken once more by the distant sound of Christmas carols. The same haunting melody, the same ethereal voices, but this time, it seems closer, more insistent.
They're back, the carolers, they're back.
Claire rushes to the window, her heart pounding in her chest. The street is empty, the snow falling silently, yet the carolers are closer than ever. Suddenly, the carolers seem to be right outside their house, their voices echoing through the silent night.
They're back, the carolers, they're back.
Jacob, his face pale, rushes to the window. He stares out into the darkness, but just like the night before, there's no one there. The street is deserted, the only sound the gentle whisper of the wind. But the caroling continues, louder now, echoing around them, seeming to come from every direction at once. Claire and Jacob exchange a horrified look, their blood turning to ice. The melody is no longer coming from outside, it's coming from inside the house.
They're back, the carolers, they're back.
The haunting strains of Silent Night weave their way through the house, each note sending shivers down their spines. Claire grabs Jacob's hand, her grip tightening as the unseen carolers seem to draw closer. Jacob, his eyes wide with terror, points a trembling finger toward the living room.
They're back, the carolers, they're back.
There, amidst the twinkling lights and shimmering ornaments of the Christmas tree, Claire and Jacob see them. Faint, translucent figures, their forms shimmering like heat waves in the cold air, are gathered around the Christmas tree. They are singing, their voices a ghostly echo of the carol they had heard the night before. The ghostly carolers seem to glide through the air, their forms shifting and swirling like smoke. Their eyes, hollow and filled with an ancient sadness, are fixed on Claire and Jacob, their voices growing louder, more insistent, more demanding. Claire and Jacob, paralyzed with fear, can only watch in horror as the ghostly carolers continue their spectral performance. The once joyous melodies now sound mournful, filled with an unspeakable sorrow. Terror lends speed to their feet. Claire and Jacob, their screams lost in the chilling melody, flee their home, racing through the snow-covered streets to the safety of their neighbor's house. Their neighbors, startled by the frantic pounding on their door, usher them inside. Claire and Jacob, still trembling from their encounter, try to explain what they had witnessed, but words fail them.
There's something you should know. Many years ago on Christmas Eve, a family was walking home from caroling when a fire broke out in their house. They all perished, their voices silenced forever.
The police are called, their arrival a welcome sight in the darkness. Armed with flashlights and skepticism, they enter the house, their footsteps echoing in the silence. But the ghostly carolers are gone. The police, finding no signs of forced entry, no evidence of any disturbance, dismiss the incident as a case of holiday stress and overactive imaginations. As the police prepare to leave, their neighbor, her face etched with concern, pulls Claire aside.
There's something you should know. Many years ago on Christmas Eve, a family was walking home from caroling when a fire broke out in their house. They all perished, their voices silenced forever.
Claire, her blood turning to ice, realizes with a sickening certainty that the ghostly carolers they had encountered were the spirits of the family who had perished in the fire all those years ago. Their haunting melodies, their sorrowful eyes, it all made sense now. They weren't there to harm them. They were simply reliving their last Christmas Eve, their voices echoing through time, a chilling reminder of the tragedy that had befallen them. As Claire and Jacob spend the rest of the holiday with their neighbors, the haunting melody of Silent Night continues to echo in their ears, a chilling reminder that even amidst the joy and celebration of Christmas, some spirits remain, forever bound to the shadows, forever seeking solace in the echoes of Christmases past. So, as you gather around your Christmas trees this year, surrounded by the warmth of family and the glow of twinkling lights, remember that not all Christmas stories have happy endings. Sometimes, the most joyous time of year can be haunted by echoes of the past, by spirits seeking solace, by melodies that chill the soul. Sleep tight, and if you hear the faint sound of Christmas carols echoing in the night, don't be too quick to dismiss them as harmless holiday cheer. It might just be the whispers of those who are forever bound to Christmas, their spirits seeking solace. Their voices a haunting reminder that even in the merriest of seasons, darkness can lurk just beneath the surface. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good fright. Emma and Ryan huddled by the fireplace, sipping hot cocoa. It was Christmas Eve, and the aroma of pine needles filled their cozy living room. Suddenly, a loud thud echoed from their front porch. Ryan peered through the window. "That's odd," he muttered. No delivery truck in sight. He pulled on his coat, curiosity piqued. Emma joined him at the door, a shiver running down her spine. On their doorstep lay a large, ornately carved wooden box. It was wrapped in plain brown paper and tied with a thick red ribbon. There was no card, no return address, no indication of who it was from. "What is this?" Emma whispered, her breath catching in her throat. The box seemed to pulsate with an unseen energy, sending a chill down her spine. Ryan, ever the pragmatist, just shrugged and carried it inside. The fire crackled in the fireplace, casting dancing shadows on the walls, creating an atmosphere of warmth and mystery. As Emma and Ryan gathered around the mysterious box, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames, an inexplicable sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air, making the cozy room feel strangely ominous. Tentatively, Emma reached out and pulled at the ribbon, her fingers trembling slightly. The paper fell away, revealing a beautifully crafted antique music box, its details becoming clearer in the dim light. It was made of dark polished wood, its surface etched with intricate carvings that told a story of craftsmanship and time. In the center, a silver plaque gleamed dully, engraved with the initials ER, adding a personal touch to the enigma. Eerie, Ryan said, a slight tremor in his voice, his eyes fixed on the box. He too felt a strange unease emanating from the box, as if it was alive with secrets. It was as if it held its breath, waiting to exhale some unknown horror, a silent guardian of its own mysteries. Emma carefully lifted the lid, her heart pounding in her chest. The hinges creaked, a mournful sound that seemed to echo in the silent room, amplifying the tension. Inside, nestled on a bed of faded velvet, lay a tiny silver key, its surface glinting faintly. It beckoned to them, a silent invitation to unlock the secrets held within the box's wooden heart, promising revelations yet to come. Emma hesitated, her fingers hovering over the silver key. She couldn't shake the feeling that opening the box was a terrible mistake, but curiosity, like a mischievous imp, gnawed at her resolve. With a deep breath, she picked up the key and inserted it into the lock. As the music box sprang to life, a haunting melody filled the room. It was a simple tune, almost childlike, yet there was an underlying current of sorrow that sent shivers down their spines. The notes seemed to wrap around them, clinging to them like cobwebs. The fire in the fireplace sputtered and hissed, casting flickering shadows that danced menacingly on the walls. The room grew noticeably colder, a chill that seeped into their bones despite the warmth of the fire. Emma and Ryan exchanged uneasy glances. The music was growing louder, more insistent, as if demanding to be heard. Section 4. Shadows and Whispers. As the music box played, strange things began to happen. The lights in the living room flickered erratically, casting grotesque shapes on the walls. Faint whispers seemed to emanate from the shadows, whispers they couldn't quite decipher. Emma felt a cold spot on her arm, as if an icy hand had brushed against her skin. She turned to Ryan, her eyes wide with fear. "Did you feel that?" she whispered. Ryan, his face pale, nodded slowly. He too felt the sudden drop in temperature, the prickling sensation of unseen eyes watching them. And then, they both heard it. A soft, chilling laughter that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. It was a child's laughter, high-pitched and filled with a chilling glee that sent shivers down their spines. The music box played on, its sweet melody now twisted and distorted, a sinister soundtrack to the growing horror that was enveloping them. Section 5. The Tragic Fate of ER. Driven by a mixture of terror and morbid curiosity, Emma decided to uncover the mystery behind the music box. She couldn't shake the feeling that it was more than just an antique. It was a key to something much darker. She spent days researching online, scouring old newspaper archives and historical societies. Every lead seemed to pull her deeper into a web of secrets and forgotten histories. The initials ER haunted her dreams, urging her to uncover their secrets. Night after night, she woke up in a cold sweat, the letters burning in her mind. Finally, she stumbled upon a faded article in a century-old newspaper. It was buried deep within the archives, almost as if someone wanted it to be forgotten. It told the tragic story of Edward and Rose, a young couple who lived in their town generations ago. Their love story was both beautiful and heartbreaking. Edward had gifted Rose with a beautiful music box, much like theirs, for Christmas. It was a symbol of their undying love and commitment. Weeks later, they vanished without a trace. The entire town was baffled, and rumors spread like wildfire. The only clue, the music box, discovered on their abandoned doorstep, still playing its haunting melody. Emma's blood ran cold as she realized the gravity of her discovery. Edward and Rose, ER. The connection was undeniable, and it sent shivers down her spine. She raced home, a sense of dread clinging to her like a shroud. Every shadow seemed to whisper secrets she wasn't ready to hear. She had to get rid of the box. It was the only way to break free from its sinister grip. It was clearly cursed, a conduit to some dark, unknown evil. She could feel its malevolent energy seeping into her soul. But when she arrived, she found Ryan transfixed by the music box. His usual warmth was replaced by an eerie stillness. He seemed different, his eyes glazed over, a strange smile playing on his lips. It was as if the box had taken hold of him too. Section 6. The box that refuses to die. Fear lent Emma strength, a strength she never knew she possessed. She grabbed the box, her fingers tingling at its touch, a shiver running down her spine. It was ice cold, as if all the warmth had been sucked out of it, leaving only a chilling void. She raced outside, desperate to be rid of the cursed object, her breath visible in the frigid air. She hurled it into the garbage bin, the sound of its impact echoing in the night, a hollow thud that seemed to mock her. That night, neither Emma nor Ryan slept. They lay in bed, eyes wide open, hearts pounding. Every creak of the house, every sigh of the wind sounded like the haunting melody of the music box, a sinister lullaby. When dawn finally broke, Emma cautiously peeked into the living room, her heart heavy with dread. There on the coffee table sat the music box, as if it had never left. It was as if it had never left, a constant, unyielding presence. They tried everything to get rid of it, throwing it in the river, watching it float away, burying it in the woods, deep beneath the snow-covered ground, even smashing it to pieces with a hammer, hoping to destroy its evil essence. But it always returned, appearing on their doorstep, as if mocking their futile attempts to escape its evil embrace, a relentless tormentor. It was a terrifying game of cat and mouse, and they were the hapless mice, trapped in a nightmare with no end in sight. Section 7. A new family, the same fate. Defeated and terrified, Emma and Ryan made the difficult decision to move. They couldn't live with the box, but they couldn't escape it either. They packed their belongings, leaving the cursed music box behind. As they drove away, Emma dared to look back. The new tenants, a young couple, stood on the porch, admiring a large, ornately carved wooden box. It was wrapped in plain brown paper and tied with a thick red ribbon. Emma gripped Ryan's hand, her heart pounding in her chest. "Don't look," she whispered, her voice choked with fear. "Just drive." As they drove into the night, the haunting melody of the music box echoed in their minds, a chilling reminder that some gifts are better left unopened. The ghost of room 312. Ben checks into the historic inn on Christmas Eve. The innkeeper warns him about room 312, but Ben dismisses the stories as superstition. At 3:12 a.m., Ben wakes to 3 knocks coming from inside the closet. He opens the closet to find it empty, but the claw marks on the floor lead to the window. The sound of breathing, cold drafts, and faint whispers calling his name fill the room. Ben sees a ghostly figure outside the window, a woman in a tattered dress pointing at him. The next morning, he learns the story of the woman who froze to death outside that room decades ago. Ben swears he'll never stay in a haunted room again, but the innkeeper finds something chilling. The woman's ghost left a handprint on the window, visible only on Christmas morning. So, which story gave you the biggest chills? Have you ever experienced something eerie during the holidays? Share your story in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales of terror. This Christmas, remember, sometimes the most unexpected gifts are the ones that haunt us forever.